Okay, this is one of those questions where the ending changes everything. As I'm reading, I'm thinking, everything seems fine so far. The patient confirms who he is. The team reviews the plan before surgery. Nothing feels unusual. Then the very next sentence, the patient's wife looks at him and says, "Why is the dressing on his left hip?" The second I read that, my brain completely stopped thinking about the surgery. Now I'm thinking, okay, what safety step failed? Because wrong site surgery doesn't just happen out of nowhere. In fact, it's considered a never event. It's the kind of mistake that's supposed to be prevented by multiple safety checks. The thing is, hospitals never rely on just one safety check. They know people are human, so they build in several chances to catch the same mistake before it ever reaches the patient. And that's exactly what this question is showing us. If you look closely, the question actually tells us the team reviewed the patient's identity, the planned procedure, and the equipment needs right before surgery. That's the timeout. Think of it like everyone hitting the pause button. Before anyone picks up the scalpel, the whole team stops and asks, do we have the right patient, the right procedure, the right side? Only when everyone agrees does the surgery begin. So that step was already done. Now ask yourself, what's missing? The stem never tells us the correct operative site was verified with the patient before anesthesia. And that's a really important step, because this happens while the patient is still awake. Picture the surgeon standing next to the patient's bed and asking, "Can you point to the hip we're operating on today?" The patient points to the right hip. The surgeon smiles and says, "Perfect," then marks the right hip with yes, or their initials. That whole interaction takes maybe 5 seconds, but it gives the team one more chance to catch a mistake before the patient is asleep. Once anesthesia is given, you lose that extra layer of protection. When you really think about it, the universal protocol is pretty simple. First, verify the patient, the procedure, and the operative site while the patient can still participate. Then mark the correct site. Finally, perform one last timeout immediately before the first incision. And every single one of those steps has the same goal: to catch a mistake before it reaches the patient.